Just let me fix that really quickly. Hey, I'm live on YouTube! YouTube actually wants to work today. I mean, it got the second half of my stream yesterday, but I went ahead and took it down and I'm exporting the old one. Hello everyone, Multidark Samus is here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies! I forgot to be in the game. Also forgot to have the sound turned up. That's why I couldn't hear it. So I don't really know what happened when we left off. Something to do with a bomb, and I lost my chats. Shoot. I don't know what happened, but the chat box I had open vanished. Hold on. Um, you can see what happened there. Got the counter back. So restream chat doesn't work anymore, which means now I have to go and fix this. Early stream leads to everything's broken. I swear I had it working. Starters. So, gotta get all my chat clients up and again. I was like a minute late to my own stream because I was watching some clips that Techie took the liberty of making. There are some duplicates. There's a duplicate of the Rock Solid Alibi. And then one that I didn't know why it was a clip. But now I have the chats open. So, I think everything's ready. Got the counter. I didn't bother fixing that. I really just, at like 7, just suddenly decided I'm gonna get back into streaming. Yeah, making clips is probably complicated. I've never done it. But still, that Rock Solid Alibi where I sit there like, was it the perfume thing? Ow! And then it clicks in my head and you can just tell, oh my god, I made a pun and I didn't even mean it. But that's aside the point. So, usual opening disclaimer, any and all spoilers will result in an instant ban. Bans will be revoked at the end of the game. I think this game, at the end of this game, multiple offenders will get permanently banned, and I think I've decided that you'll probably end up just permanently banned for a year. So not really permanent, but it'll be a good long ban. I mean, I'm just that kind of person. I don't take kindly to spoilers, especially since currently moderating them doesn't work correctly without having to completely change how I handle showing the chats in stream, which at that point I'd probably just be like, yeah, we can't show chat in stream anymore. That would suck. Anyways, we left off something about a bomb. Our defendant, the prosecution is trying to prove that she set off the bomb and blew up courtroom number 4. That's pretty much my knowledge. I wasn't really paying that much attention last stream. I don't know, my mind was elsewhere. You know, streaming is kind of my thing, and apparently I'm not very good at it. But I decided to start an early stream so we could get further into the game and also make up for some of the missing time. Plus, because I actually had time for once to do an early stream and wasn't struggling to get everything done, and then I found some clips on Twitch, and I was like, I want to watch these. Why are there clips? Why did Techie make clips? I know now. Also, rewatching my stream has led me to believe that, yeah, my old audio volume was terrible. But let's get back into the game. So, she was brought back up on the... I can actually review now. So we had Mr. Ted tonate, not donate. Not donating any Teds. He's pretty much just telling me he did it, but also I've seen the art and I've seen the opening. It's pretty obviously him. And we brought the defendant back out, and you know. That's where we are. Hi, Fina. How you doing? I don't know, the game's not giving me much to work with. Oh my god, the animations! So... Oh my god, is it because I broke the counter? Get help. Oh no! Oh my god, okay, I see what happened. So when I went in to fix the script because someone made it on Windows and Linux didn't like it, I see. It, for whatever reason, started wiping stuff. So thanks for that. Why did it wipe it though? Also, this comment is bad, but still. What do you mean unexpected in the file? So we may have just lost our counter. Line 8. I can't figure this out. Hold on. I... Hello everyone, Multidark Samus is here, and welcome to programming where you can only see the second to last line of the editor. And only a small portion of it. It is count plus equals 1. It's hanging up at input. What I get for using said. What do you mean unexpected EOF while parsing? Alright guys. I want the counter working, so there you go. I ran it through sed to change the line endings so that I could actually have it execute and execute properly. Hold on. What if I open you... Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have opened you in Kate and used the tools to set the end of line. I don't have from DOS. Also, it's DOS to Unix or something. But I don't have that installed, and I didn't feel like installing something. I should have used Kate. That's my bad. Hold on. Alright, so if I... Okay. I had it working, but I want to fix this completely. End of line set to Unix, save, /counter. So what I've determined is it's an issue with Python. Alright, I fixed it. So it's an issue with the line at the top that I changed to user bin Python. Oh, I wonder, what if I change it to Python 3.6? Alright, fixed. So the issue is I think it was defaulting to Python 2, and Python 2 is kind of questionable. We're all good. That was a good wasted 5 minutes for me to realize that I'm just an idiot and needed to specify the version of Python, or else it thinks that I want Python 2, and Python 2 is a broken piece of crap. I say that having started Python using Python 2 and recognizing its usefulness. All of this programming mumbo-jumbo aside, let's get back to defending. No, I'd much rather play as Edgeworth. I really want like this, but I'm playing as the prosecution instead of the defense. I have no idea how that would work. Because with investigations, you didn't get the courtroom scene, you literally just got everything behind the scenes, then proving who to prosecute, I guess. Don't worry, Junie, we're here for you. I only said I wouldn't read them, and I won't read all of them, but every once in a while. You blew up the objection, leading question. Come on, basic law, and I mean, I was only ever in mock trial. I only have tiny little understanding of law, at least in the United States. But leading question, that's objectionable. Pretty sure that constitutes a leading question. I'm pretty sure, yeah. A leading question is, and I'm not reading Google, I'm going off my memory, but a leading question is a question in which you're trying to get the witness to agree to what you want them to say, essentially. So, you know, asking, you blew up the courtroom because you bear resentment against the courts, correct? Asking that would be a leading question, because if they answered, they'd be essentially saying that they did it. And that's illegal. Now I'm going to go do some quick research. What is a leading question? What is a leading coefficient? Yep, a question that prompts or encourages the answer wanted. So I was right, but I'm not good at phrasing things. So yeah, that's a leading question. And at least in the United States, you can object to a leading question and the judge will probably say sustained, and they won't be allowed to ask the question. The use of the questions is typically to self-incriminate. If they answer the question, there's a chance that they will self-incriminate. That's one of the hardest things that I remember, and part of the reason why I stopped wanting to go into law. I stopped wanting to pursue law and instead pursued acting. Because, my god, all the rules and regulations, like, the defense... Alright, not the defense attorney, because it's a lot more complicated, like, both the defense and prosecution get to call witnesses, and the cross-examination is done with only yes or no questions. So figuring out what yes or no questions are allowed got complicated as soon as you introduced the idea of leading questions, which you could object and just say leading question, and the judge will be like sustained or overruled, depending on if the question is a leading question, which 9 times out of 10, if you're calling leading question, it probably is. They're pretty easy to figure out. That's real life law right there. What little bit I know from mock trial, I will say this, mock trial for being fake is extremely realistic. I believe that the mock cases are based on real trials that occurred. At least at a college level. Now I was in high school, so, a little lighter, but still. We had an actual attorney come in and coach us, which was the norm for mock trial teams. But I chose to play witnesses instead because I was a better actor than I was an attorney. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at being a lawyer or prosecutor or anything. And I'm okay with that. Wow, we've already got some intense bass-heavy music. This is Ace Attorney 1. This is just a slightly bassier remix of an Ace Attorney 1 song. For pretty much building up to a climax. I don't know why I said it like that. Climax. Like I inflected the wrong thing. We're sitting here listening to this because I like it.
Objection!
Objection! I don't know why, but I just imagine him as like a snake. And not like a solid snake, but like the animal, a snake. Metal Gear, for anyone who didn't get that. Specifically Metal Gear Solid, I guess? Well, you play as the same character in all the games except 3, Peace Walker, and 5, in which you play as Naked or Venom Snake. I don't know, I don't really like Phoenix Wright animated. He just looks really weird. Also, I will say this, the sweat droplets just sort of float in front of the model instead of going around the model, which makes sense. The actual animating that to have the collision and realistic effect just wouldn't work, but it really just looks like they're floating in front of him instead of being a part of him. I don't think that they're a part of his model, I think that they're painted on after his model is painted on the screen. Is that the right term? Rendered, I guess. They're rendered probably in a layer in front of his layer. I still don't fully know how these models work, and I never really understood how the sprites worked either. You have the people standing behind the desk, and you can't see their legs. Which, I guess, would mean that each section of, the courtroom in the 2D games, you had parts that were actually painted on the layer above the sprite layer, or in front of the sprite layer, and then you had, the background, and then a dynamic layer designed to put stuff in front of sprites. And then you could fade that in and out as you saw fit. I guess that's how it would work. That's how I would do it, at least. Same with the models. You have the background models, the character models, and then the, I don't know what to call these. The obscure models. The obscuring models. The models used to obscure parts of the characters. Hold on. I need to double check something. Can I go give that prosecutor a smack? No? Don't want to get held in contempt of court, do you? I don't. You know, I never did ask how the volume is. I did the testing myself, but I haven't gone back and listened or watched the other streams. Except for the clips, and I didn't really do much watching the stream from yesterday. I pretty much just loaded it up, saw that it started off in the middle of the trial, and was like, alright, gonna private this, figure out how to delete it because YouTube is complicated. You can't mass delete videos anymore. they changed the interface. Delete them one at a time, which is fine because I typically don't delete massive amounts of videos at once. Usually don't delete more than one at once. I just deleted that so that I could export the Twitch. I mean, I increased the microphone volume. It's now 2 or 3 times louder than it was before in terms of percentage and decibels. But I don't really, like, when running the tests with as little as I could, well, yeah, because I didn't really go into the games. I was using Apollo Justice to test. So I didn't go in and actually do a full comparison. I just sat in the menu and pressed buttons and made noises. But I didn't go into the game and test, like, how does the music sound compared to my voice? Is my voice actually over the music? Do they blend well together? Especially for these games, I feel it's important to have the background noises audible, but obviously I don't want it to go over my voice. I haven't done any editing to the line-in either, so like it's whatever volume the 2DS is outputting into my computer, that's the volume that it is set in OBS. So right now it's at 100% or 0.0 decibels. Because 0 decibels refers to, I think, the maximum output of your audio card, as I read. But you've said the volume is much better, you haven't complained about anything in specific. I'm going to assume that I don't need to tweak anything. I imagine if I needed to tweak something, you would have let me know either in the mod chat or during the stream. I kind of miss Apollo Justice's ability to read people. Or the Majitama's ability to... I'm playing this Phoenix Wright, where's my Majitama? I have a feeling it doesn't show up, but I don't want clarification on that. Heightened sense of hearing. I guess we don't need the Majitama, we've got this. First it was magical device that just senses and shows me when people are lying. Then it was the ability to see people's nervous twitches and when they're lying. And now it's the ability to hear when people are lying. Interesting. But we still have only touched 2 of the 5 senses. When can we feel them lying? When can we taste them lying? When can we smell them lying? I always forget one of the senses. I think it's usually touch that I forget. Maybe smell. Or taste. I think it varies. Every single time I list them, I just list them, and then there's always that one that I'm like, which one didn't I get?
Objection!
Leading questions. But also badgering the witness. Does he not strike you as the kind of guy who would say genteel? There is no more genteel man than I in this world. He also... Okay, fine, so... I guess we do have the ability to feel when people are lying, as well as the ability to see it, because he could see it using the bracelet with the perception. He was both see and feel, so... Okay, so we've got 3 out of 5 senses, and... You know, with that in mind, the whole taste when people lie thing doesn't seem so far-fetched. I don't know, you have a magical pair of braces that gives off a taste when they detect when people are lying. And with smell. Except not braces. Don't let that rude ruffian. I just imagine a defense attorney going up and just touching the witnesses, being like, "Are you lying? Let me feel that you are lying." Seems like a huge bit of controversy, but then I don't know. I don't know. I've been watching Mother 3 in English, with the English translation patch. I'm starting to see why it was never brought to America. It's kind of screwed up, to put it lightly. Like, I really don't think that kind of game, even at the time that it came out, probably especially at the time it came out, I don't really know, but that game would not fly in America. It has way too many controversial things going on. Way too much that I just feel like the majority of our society in the United States just couldn't handle it. Even though it is just a game, it deals with some very, very dark topics. I'm kind of glad I never played it, because I feel like I would have played it back when I was in 9th grade, so like, I don't know, 6 years ago? Top of my head, that... Yeah, 6 years ago. I should know this because I keep mentioning 6 years ago, but that's not an important topic. I don't think I would have been ready. Like, I played about 10 minutes into it and then got bored. But I think now I could probably play it and appreciate it for what it is, but I don't know, I don't think I will. Instead, I went to Pokemon. I went back to Pokemon Pearl again. I've got 2 books sitting on my bed beside me. Opened up, I have the scenario guide and the Pokedex. Just going in for 100% completion to the extent that I can without access to any of the other games. Oh, he said genteel man! I called it! I have the ability to smell the future. I can smell the future. I can't believe... Super delayed, but I called that he would say genteel. And I was just like, he strikes me as the kind of guy who would say genteel man. Well, he did. I could smell the future. I'm really good at predicting these games. Capcom, hire me to predict your games. Is that a job? Can I do that for a living? Can I just play games and predict how the storyline will go and get paid based on how accurate I am? Because then I'd have a good bit of money in my pocket just from Apollo Justice. I think towards the end there I stopped giving away what I suspected would happen just because I was like, I'm scared that I'm right and I don't want to be the guy who accidentally spoils something without knowing it. Do I get a choice? Oh, good. Gavel noises. I'm gonna need to start a counter for gavel noises. Gonna need more console windows. I was sitting on top of the bomb. I had to set myself up for something, and then I realized I had nothing to set myself up with. When the bomb went off. Stop sneezing. I totally read that as I was coughing from the gallery. But no, it's just because she kept coughing. Oh, good, we're actually going to get into the power and probably actually explain the power, as opposed to Apollo Justice, where it was just like... You know, Apollo Justice, essentially until the third case, got told exactly what to do, and it wasn't until the third case that you really got to get a feel for learning the power and understanding the power. Because in case 1, it was, this is the tell. This is how you know he's lying. In case 2, it was the same thing. Trucy just says, didn't you notice that at certain parts of his testimony, he just started playing with the corner of his book? It wasn't until case 3 that you really learned that you were left alone and they didn't show you or tell you what the tell was or how to perceive. But I'm hoping this game goes a slightly less hand-holdy route, and it just sort of gives you an idea of it sort of explains to you how to use the power, but doesn't outright tell you what the answers are until case 3. How many cases are in this, excluding the DLC case? Is it 4, like the rest? Exception of trials and tribulations. Oh good, 5. Back to trials and tribulations. I'm okay with this, and here's why. I couldn't stop myself. I had to go with the "and here's why" thing that I think only I find funny. Did I even laugh at it? Wasn't that funny, but still, whoa. I just dropped some frames. I'm dropping frames. Why am I dropping frames? Your Twitch export to YouTube failed. Your Twitch export to YouTube succeeded. That was weird, Twitch. Give me a quick second. I need to do something really quickly. Because my internet just dropped. What the hell is going on? That ping time is great, but it hasn't balanced out yet. Showing is fine. What's going on? Oh, hold on, let me. Double checking something really quickly. Okay, so, for 1,324 frames, my internet just crapped out on me, and I lost my up and down it became bad. I don't know what happened. I've never had that happen on this internet before. I thought fiber optic was supposed to be amazing, but for whatever reason, maybe my network card might need to be adjusted. Anyways, it looks like everything's back, so I guess we'll continue. Does this game rely on sound? Do I actually need sound on? I don't care because I have sound set up. Analytical psychology. Oh, good, German. So, a holographic thingamabob. Magic. Okay, I don't think I need sound. Oh my god, what is this fanciness? Whoa. Well, thank god it's annoying. I was worried the sounds weren't going to be annoying enough. I'm starting to think that maybe I should just mute the game. These are horrible. Capcom. Everything up until now has been fantastic with the exception of the sweat bottle thing. Animation thing. And there goes the stream again. I didn't stutter as badly. No, there it goes. Spoke too soon. Why is it being so... What is going on? Whatever. I'm starting to feel like I should be recording these locally just so I can upload them later. Then I have to figure out how to tell YouTube not to auto... I don't think I can disable YouTube's auto post for streams. Alright, if I drop two... I dropped more than 2 frames. I mean, like, if I drop 2 frames exactly, I'd be at 2048 dropped frames. More like inconsistencies between my fucking internet. I got... What is with this? I haven't had this much trouble with the internet since switching to fiber optic. What I get for starting an early stream. Because I start a stream 30 minutes early and everything goes to hell. Don't do an early stream apparently, because everything just breaks. This is complain about technology, the stream. See, this is what I was worried would happen yesterday, is I'd spend the entire stream complaining because I was in a bad mood yesterday, but you know. Apparently just being in a good mood sucks, because me being in a good mood means that everything that ruins that good mood hits especially hard because it's so rare for me to be so happy. I went into this being like, I'm excited to stream, I really want to get into this game. Remind me, what is yellow? Why are we getting 2? And I still don't really know how to use this power. Oh! That is weird. Are we good? Is it balanced out? Is everything good? Just playing along, ignoring the dropped frames, I guess. Okay, this isn't too bad.
Got it!
Got it. Not gotcha. Got it. What? I'm just gonna keep going because I don't know why she would feel happy. Whoa. That's new. Now she's knitting. That explains why he was so injured. Yep, Phoenix had the same thought. I was expecting Apollo is justice. I mean, she got half his last name. In syllables, at least. I don't know. He got the first 4 letters of his last name. This is weird.
Got it!
Nope, that was wrong. Do I get punished for making mistakes?
Got it!
I didn't notice that. So I don't get punished. Well, at least that's the case. I don't actually know if you get punished for the perceived because I never perceived something that I didn't find. I went back through the entirety of Apollo Justice and never once tested any of the things I was curious about. And I found that weird because I got to the end and I was like, wait a minute. I played through this again and I was curious about several things. But I got so caught up in getting all the right answers and not failing that I forgot to go back and check what happens if you do certain things. And then I was sad, because now I have to go back through it again, but okay. I'm assuming it does something similar to this, where he backs off, where he, like, starts to mention something and then just backs off like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Let me try again. Unlike when you make an objection. Once again, we have some really weird stuff where it's just like, you know, when you perceive, Apollo's just like, you're lying because nervous twitch. Okay, yeah, we can accept this in this court of law. Same with this. She should draw out more. I mean, I guess we're not using it to try to prove anything so much as just draw out more testimony, so I guess it's okay, but still shocked that we're allowed to pull this off. Wow. I've already spotted a contradiction. I saw that. I saw the tail. Oh, there's a tail. So now we have proof that the tail he is holding does not tie her into this at all, which throws the prosecution's case out the window. I was about to ask, do I still get to press? And then I remembered, I did a cross-examination yesterday, and I did press. I don't remember if pressing actually yielded any new information, but I did press. Alright, have to present it at the right statement. It's so techie now. It's like, so weird. But also, Phoenix Wright just ruined that entire moment of revelation that I had.
Objection!
I missed the old objection. Yes! Despingy, whoa. What is this pursuit? I'll probably come to love it, but I mean, it's catchy, I'll give it that. Very upbeat. I think it's the same as every time we get a new pursuit, though. Is I'm just like, but I liked the older ones more. So this one will probably become good to me. Kind of like Apollo Justice took almost the entire game before I actually started to enjoy it and stopped complaining that it wasn't just another Phoenix Wright game.
Objection!
Objection! I am Snake. I don't know, because the only person I know of who's actually watching the stream is Techie, and he doesn't know anything about Metal Gear. But I honestly felt like I don't remember her. Pause. I kind of feel like I did that voice in a sort of pause-like voice, so. Pause? P-A-Z. Pause? Pause? I think they pronounced it pause. And then I just made myself sad remembering how that story arc ended in Metal Gear Solid 5. I shouldn't have been so surprised. Metal Gear Solid 5 likes to mess with your emotions. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe I accidentally put a slight... No, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to offend anyone, but an accent there that is not the right accent. I'm not gonna specify which one because that just shows ignorance on my part, and they're so easily offended these days. That statement right there is probably enough to get a lot of people pissed off. Good thing no one ever watches these streams. What? Okay. Wait. Whoa. Hold on. What is...
Take that!
That is... weird. Ah. Okay, that's loud. Might be louder in my ears though, because I turned up the volume because I was listening to my Apollo Justice stuff on the clips. If I get enough clips, I should do a clip compilation and post it on the main channel. So... Wait, I don't have the... Why wasn't it added to my evidence? I don't have the poster in my evidence, but yeah, they look the same. By the way, and I don't think I specified this earlier, but starting the stream early was to add 30 minutes extra to the stream. So I will be continuing on to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Or in case anyone is actually watching the stream. But I don't think they are, but you know. I don't think I specified that earlier when I said that I started early. Didn't mean I was going to cut out the last 30 minutes in the stream earlier than normal, but actually adding that 30 minutes on just to get more content. Because these games take me forever to get through, and I disappeared for a week. Not within my own control. Investigating in a tutorial? Save icon. I saw that. Huh. Well, this is a first. I'd say poor Phoenix Wright, but from what I've found in Apollo Justice, Phoenix Wright's not a great person either. Are we back to Wright & Co. law offices, or are we still Wright Talent Agency? What happened to Trucy? Might get some backstory. Wow. The quality has gone down. Went from Wright & Co. law offices to Wright Talent Agency, and now apparently Wright Anything Agency. Oh good, we get to hopefully soon see the amazingness that is the new move system. Wherein, as opposed to your locations being based on where you were, they just put everything in a list and let you select it from a list. At least that's my understanding. Still, anything's better than having to just work your way around a maze of areas that you can explore, some of which interconnect. Mostly just being that to get to the detention center, usually you'd have to go to one specific location, and the detention center was only connected to that one location. It happened in Trials and Tribulations, I know. Apollo Justice, it happened. I'm dropping frames again. Apollo Justice specifically, it happened in the second case, where you'd have to go in order to visit Phoenix Wright at the hospital, and in order to get to the detention center, you had to go to the Wright Talent Agency. And you couldn't get there from anywhere else.
Where are you, Apollo? Trial's over for today. Come on,
Well then.
you know you're... No.
Oh. Apollo Justice is dead. Screaming. I just save indefinitely. Didn't take me out of the menu. Thank you, game. I'm not overwriting your save. Oh, we didn't get to investigate. Shame. Sorry, I had to adjust the mic. I couldn't see it out of the corner of my eye. Shia LaBeouf. I don't know why, but I have actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf stuck in my head. I have for a couple hours now. Don't know why. Just popped in my head. And didn't go away. Also, update on the job front. As I had mentioned yesterday, I was going to look for a job. I can't specify anything too much for, well, privacy reasons. I finally got up the nerve to, take a quick step in a direction. Whether or not this direction is the right direction, whether or not it leads to me actually getting a job, I don't know. But I finally did something I've been meaning to do for probably over a month now. Probably about a month. I have to remember that some stuff that happened very bumped together due to the situation that happened. And part of why I took a different week off from streaming, because it was just way too much going on. I wasn't sure I could handle it. And to be honest, I have no reason why I wouldn't talk about it. I just have chosen not to really mention exactly what happened. I just, like, I'd be perfectly fine talking about it, but at the same time, I'm worried that I guess some people might be sensitive to the topic. And at this point, it's too late for me to go off and create a separate series of videos detailing exactly what happened, because then it would just be like, well, you know, 3 weeks ago this happened. Like, well, why do it now? So, at some point, maybe I will. Probably not. Oh, good. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. I was worried. Okay then. These games are great. Kinda wish I had deleted the save data though, so that I wouldn't have like all the extra stuff unlocked. I could play through the game as if I actually just got the game. Trying to come up with more topics of conversation. I'm not very good at this, in case it wasn't obvious. But also in a game like this, I feel like it's really difficult to keep up a conversation or keep up a topic and keep track of what's going on in the game because, well, no, the game's just so text-based, so heavy on story and everything that even with the ability to go back, I feel like if half the stream is just me rereading texts, it's kind of just a waste. I already feel like I waste most of the time talking and not progressing through the story because I can't both talk and keep track of the story. I also find that sometimes I go and look at OBS instead of my own screen to read the text. How are you holding up? Because I'm a potato. I went back and did Portal 2 with commentary, and then got to thinking, why haven't I streamed Portal 2? I remember exactly how Portal went on stream. It didn't go very well. It's just... Actually, I'm kind of worried that the same thing would happen if I attempted my next series, which... I might have to hold off until I can get the money to build a new desktop. I have a reason to buy the parts to build a new desktop instead of just upgrading the one I have. And the main reason is I want a server machine, and this computer would be absolutely perfect for a server machine. No graphics card, but an APU, so if I have to hook it up to a monitor I can, which for initial setup is very useful. And then I got to thinking about this motherboard I have lying around in my room. Literally just wasting space and collecting dust. Even though it doesn't actually look that dusty. I don't know how it is that that's the one thing in my room that hasn't collected dust. The magical well, I mean, I can see a tiny layer of dust, but then I look at other stuff in my room and I'm just like, I need to dust. To actually clean. Effort. What I determined was it's about $70 to get that it's probably closer to $170, maybe over $200 to get that motherboard running. Just because I had to have to get a CPU, the GPU because there's no integrated graphics. I have RAM that would fit in it, and I determined that the motherboard's just old. I'd rather have something newer. I know I'm a bit of, well, first world problems, I guess. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with DDR3 RAM. I'd rather have something newer. I'm actually considering selling it. Right, that's what I meant to talk to you about, Tech. Yeah, I meant to discuss selling it with you. Figure out what all I would need to do to get that sold, but I don't think I could. I mean, it works. Supposedly it works. Can I even sell something that I haven't verified works because I don't have the parts to verify that it works? How do you verify that a motherboard works if you have no CPU that fits in it? Frickin' AM3 Plus socket. I don't know, but I think I could get a good bit of money, but I'd also have to figure out how much it's worth. older board, a couple years old. I don't really know too much about it, actually. Yeah, of all the research I did. I mean, it was given to me for free. Given to me by some people who knew that I like working with computers, and they were like, here, have a motherboard, we have no use for it. And they were like, you're gonna need a CPU and a graphics card, but it should be fine, it should work. It's got 8 SATA ports. In case I needed, I don't know, 7 separate hard drives and a disk drive? Or 6 separate hard drives, a disk drive, and a floppy disk drive. Oh wait, floppy disk drives aren't SATA compatible, are they? I ruined that joke. I literally just said that. Oh yeah, Phoenix Wright does know how that feels. Oh, floppy drives are IDE, aren't they? Although you could also get some USB ones, but still, pretty sure that if you got like the actual internal internal drive, you know, the kind that sits on the case and connects internally, I think those are IDE. I don't know what I'm talking about. This predates my knowledge. Wait, floppy drives have their own interface? Why? Well, you can always get one that's USB. Can I do USB to SATA? I really want to hook up a floppy drive to a SATA port. Is that too much to ask? Hold on, I have to do something really quick. That doesn't look like a floppy drive disk. I found something that claims to be a SATA floppy drive disk. It's 15 pounds. That... Oh, it is literally just... It has the floppy drives built into it. USB... Oh yeah, because that says floppy drive disk, not... Is 4-pin floppy drive to 15-pin SATA male power cable. Boom. I could do it. Now I want to build that as a computer and sell it. Just be like, it's unique. I went all out. You have your CDs, your DVDs. It's got a reader, a writer, a floppy drive. A what? A floppy drive? Why would I want that? A floppy drive? But who uses floppy disks anymore? I do. What? Why? I want SATA! But seriously, I have used a floppy disk before. Okay, Techie used a floppy disk because back when I was working on making my own operating system, which I abandoned very quickly, but I went out and I made an operating system based on a pretty much entirely off of a tutorial, and he shoved it onto a floppy drive and booted from it. It was impressive to actually see your own software booted off a floppy disk because it was just that small. Those were fun times. I miss high school a little bit. Techie doesn't, but every once in a while I do. I also miss the days when I didn't have to complain about dropping frames, when I haven't changed anything at all with my system. The counter. I have no idea what's going on, but like, my internet speed's just fluctuating like crazy. Let me check the... Well, the antenna's in there tight. The card has to be connected. There's no way that it would get disconnected. I can't really test that right now. Is PCI hot swappable? I don't think it would be hot swappable. I can't talking to Techie here directly because I don't really care. This isn't something that I think needs to be in the mod chat, but I don't mind. I can't reboot the router because I'm not the one using it. The PCIe? I don't know the difference. Is PCIe the latest standard with... Like, actually thinking on it, like, the pins that I use to swap between having the Bluetooth adapter and the SD card reader on the desktop are... Okay, so it's PCIe. I don't remember these things. Right, PCI Express. But no, I realize that those pins are GPIO pins, which are hot swappable because they don't really care if there's an input or output. They simply detect or send out signals. It's up to whatever device is plugged in to accept or send those signals. It doesn't really recognize when something's plugged in or not. I guess you could, but it... No, you could... GPIO isn't really intelligent. But then actually reading and writing data through. I mean, sure, they're USB pins, but what is a USB pin other than some very specific GPIO stuff? Again, I could be completely off here, but I mean... Is GPIO... Okay, so I recognize that GPIO stands for General Purpose Input-Output. So yes, USB pins would not be General Purpose Input-Output. So what's the general purpose term for those pins? Okay, well, my Raspberry Pi has plus 5 volt power. So does my Arduino. I realize I've been on that line of text for a while. I hope no one comes here. Essentially the same thing. Still, it probably just does the exact same thing as GPIO. Just each pin has a specific purpose instead of being programmable by software. They're literally just pins sticking out that are either set to input or output or have power applied through them. And a ground. I guess they're just called pins. Like, GPIO pins are just pins, but they're designed to be programmable. Versus the USB header, which is just pins, but they have a very specific use. I'm standing by this. Ignorance is bliss. Technology is confusing. And ginger ale is delicious. I don't know why, but for some reason I expected the song to jump into Snake Eater. I have no idea why. Open it up, it just opened up and I expected it to go into Snake Eater because I'm not going to attempt to do the instrumental with my voice because I'm not good at acapella. Okay, the reality is I'm just shy. I'm shy. I've sang on stream before, which I think I now have to be more careful about doing. I don't know. I don't know. My source of Twitch information has stopped mentioning that and continued to do the same things he was doing before, so I wonder if they changed their rules or just dropped it completely and said, you know what, Article 13 is a piece of crap. Because it is a piece of crap. Pretty sure that they changed a good portion of it to be slightly less restrictive, but I don't keep up with politics. The defense is ready, though. Alright, it's time to get serious. I've got an hour and 14 minutes left to go. An hour, 13 minutes, and 18 seconds. Ish. I too am disappointed. Okay, I love you, Capcom. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Every father, for the most part, ever. I can't be the only person getting a good laugh out of this, though. Like, I can't be the only person who appreciates this way more than I should. I'm waiting for validation, guys. Validate me. I rely on the validation of people who I've never met over the internet. If you don't validate me, I will. I spoke before my mind caught up to what I was saying. I'm confused now. Oh, look, an LCD screen. Oh, wait, I'm playing a game. ADHD is fun. That's me making fun of myself at times. What's funny is that if I had a webcam and it were pointed at that, you'd probably stop hitting my mic. God. It's upside down, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell what it is. Unless you were just really good at identifying, I can't remember the specifics, but essentially an LCD screen from the bottom. I need to get that set up again. Really what I need to do is set up some pin connectors and make it so I can just mount it. Oh wait. It wouldn't be balanced. I'd be better off hooking it up as part of either a circuit or back into the breadboard. But I have to remember how to wire it because I'm forgetful and it doesn't tell me how to wire it. And it didn't come with an instruction manual. Where did I get it from? Anyways. See, ADHD. I completely forgot I was playing a game there. I got confused by trying to figure out where I got that LCD screen from. I bought it. I probably bought it online or something. I don't even have the box anymore. I'm pretty sure it didn't come with the kit I have. That's also lying around on top of my desk here. Oh, I got it from that explains it. Did you get an instruction booklet with it that explained how to wire it up correctly? I can't remember what all wires it connects to. Also, it's dusty and I just picked it up and wow, it is covered in dust. Oh wait, it is labeled. You just have to know what all of these mean. BSS, VDD, BO, RS, RW, E, D0 through D7 AK. And somehow that thing has more dust on it than the motherboard that's been sitting in here unused for longer than that. I don't know that for sure. That's probably been on my desk for longer than I've had that motherboard. It's not on my desk actually. I moved it when I did all the cleanup. Motherboard sitting on top of two really outdated Dell laptops from like 2003. And a 128GB SSD that has never been used. I think it's been opened, but I don't think I've ever used it. Hope I didn't break it. I don't think the SSDs can get damaged by dropping though. I mean, not as much as a hard drive. SSD stores data on it differently. On a hard drive, it's all on disks, so if you keep dropping it, one of those disks might crack. SSD, I think, does something closer to how RAM stores, which is through, like... I don't know, though, because it maintains... I don't know what you're saying no to. I've said a lot of things, you're just... No. Oh, wait, that no was for the booklet! Wow. My memory is garbage. That no's been there for a while. No, SSDs, I'm pretty sure, have a similar structure as RAM does for storing data. It's just... I think it uses physical switches to maintain state after being powered off, versus just relying on logic gates. Hardware is confusing. I'll get a separate matter. Is it a flash drive? Oh. I need to actually look into how flash drives work too, because that's confusing. Does anyone else notice the fact that every single storage medium requires a power supply to read and write data? Because data is stored in electricity. Logic gates are fun. Also, logic gates make me very angry. Okay, so I was going to say something and then I realized I'm wrong. So here's what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, it couldn't be the defendant because the defendant has an alibi. And then I realized something. We don't know when Apollo Justice was knocked out. And the defendant is the last person we know of to have seen him. Of course, we know the defendant didn't knock him out because this is Phoenix, right? It's never the defendant. Except for that one time when it was. By proxy. And that other time when it was, but for a different crime. The only way to get out of murder is to admit that you're a thief. Anyways. I don't know. One of these days I'll look into hardware though. Try to actually understand how things work. All I know are switches and logic gates, and I've done my fair share of research on the logic gates used in a CPU and how all of that works, and how all the instructions work and everything, in my attempts to create a CPU in software, like using... I can't think of the word, like, software that lets you simulate logic gates and stuff, wiring, electricity, in my attempts to create a CPU, and I'm not gonna lie, it's well beyond my knowledge. I can barely do a 4-bit adder, and that's pretty simple stuff. Those use essentially and OR gates. Maybe NOR. I think it's AND with OR. Use OR, yeah, that's pretty much all that's needed in an adder. You just shove a bunch of those together and you get an entire calculator. But then you have to set up logic to output to an LCD display. And depending on the particular LCD display, it can get complicated. If you use like is it 7 lines? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. If you do the 7-segment LCD display, then you have to build the chip, the microchip that controls it yourself, and then things get complicated. But if you use an actual LCD display, this is all in simulated software though. But if you use the actual one, then you can just pipe in digits and it will automatically, or you can pipe in binary information on and off, electricity stuff, and it will automatically fill in the numbers for you. So it depends on if you're using a 7-segment or what kind of display you're using. Pretty sure that that's accurate to real life too. Like if I just got a 7-segment display, that was literally just one, it would be programmed the same way, or controlled the same way. And it gets complicated when you start trying to actually do like an adder attached to it so that it outputs the particular number that's currently stored based on a crap ton of nors and ors and ands, and it hurt my brain to look at. Fun stuff, I miss those days. Just hard to find software that's actually capable of doing all of this that also runs on Linux. I had something at one point, but it was outdated and not kept up to date, and then some other software. Anyways, back to the trial, because I've gone on a tangent about hardware again. You can tell where my interests lie, both in gaming and computer-based crap. Look, I want to get into IT. I want to do stuff with computers for a living. It's fun for me to mess around with computers. Hell, I have a Windows Server VM network set up. Don't tell Microsoft. Not that I'm using it for anything at all. It was literally just done as a, hey, look at what we can do with Windows Server 2000, a legitimate copy of Windows Server 2000 with a key. And then I went from that and said, how do I do this in something that's actually viable as a network manager? So I went and grabbed a trial copy of Windows Server 2019. It's very different. Oh, those are fun though. Objection! Well, I have to fill out new paperwork to a completely different trial. I love it. Also, a word of advice, never give Techie control of your Windows 2000 server. He'll go into the permissions and disable everything and have it auto-lock after like 2 seconds. So, yeah. And he'll also change the password to something you don't know. And because it locks, you can't sign into a different account. I think that was primarily an issue with that particular version of Windows we were using, which was Windows 2000. But still, I really did enjoy playing around with that stuff, and I want to get more stuff done. I just don't know what to do next. If I have ideas, then I'll boot back up the entire network I set up. Oh right, I need to connect up Windows 7 and Windows 8 to the network. We got Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8, everything that's technically still in life for another couple of months, and then Windows 7's EOL comes, and I imagine Windows 8's EOL is going to be soon. Techie can fill us in. Plot twist. Windows 8 EOL'd the year it came out. No, that's too... Nah, that couldn't be. Windows 8 EOL'd when Windows 10 came out. In fact, it EOL'd the day that Windows 10 stopped having free upgrades. That may sound factual. I'm pretty sure it's not. That's what I would have done. Well, I wouldn't have released Windows 8 as it was. I probably wouldn't have even released Windows 8.1. Reminds me of a Tales from Tech Support post I read, where like, I'm going to progress through here and then go into that, but it was funny. Uses a Source SDK based 2007, aka Portal engine. Well, technically Half-Life 2 engine. Portal engine, right? Yeah, I don't know why I had a bit of confusion there. Portal came out... I don't know when it came out, but I'm pretty sure it was several years after Half-Life 2. Found out that Half-Life 2 and Mother 3 came out at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but in like the same year, I think? Is that right? I'd have to rewatch the stream. I'm gonna stop talking about things I don't know. Excellent, we have a diagram. I love diagrams. Can we please stop fingering people as the perpetrator? I know what I said. That's why I said it. It was because I just loved the abuse of the term fingered. Because for only because it happened in investigations in a case that already had some very questionable topics introduced in terms of just being inappropriate for children. It's probably the only reason why I thought of it. Anything of the whole fingering her as a suspect. That and it was Windy Old Bag, so. But no, I was reading some stuff on Reddit, and I saw a post on Tales from Tech Support where like someone who has to use a computer for a living, I think she was like the receptionist for a hospital or something. She was a receptionist, and she was using a Windows 8 machine, and they were upgrading from Windows 8 to probably Windows 10 and replacing the computers and stuff. And so Windows 8.1 specifically has a somewhat confusing interface, wherein clicking the start menu doesn't pop up a start menu like you would expect from every other version of Windows, but instead takes you to a really weird screen that looks like a tablet screen for selecting applications and stuff. Well, in her like that can't be right. When did Windows 8 come out? 2014. So I think it was for 4 years, she never figured out how to get out of that menu. So to get back to the desktop, she would reboot the system. And apparently that system took 10 minutes to boot up. So every time she had to use the start menu, she'd reboot the entire computer because she didn't know how to get back, and for whatever reason, the IT specialist also didn't know how to get back to the desktop, so he was like, can you show me how to do that? And she's just like, I'll just reboot the machine. And he left without thinking about it. And then it hit him. For 4 years, she had been rebooting and waiting 10 minutes for the system to come back up every time she went into the start menu. And that hurts, but also my experience with Windows 8.1 has been minimal enough that I don't know how to use it pretty much at all. I'm about to connect it up to my Windows server network. Oh, good. Objections. So, you know, get some fun stuff on Reddit. Although, if I do recall, with Windows 8.1, I did go into the start menu, and I did eventually, although I remember having a bit of trouble with it, figure out how to get back to the desktop. But god, rebooting, can you imagine? You hit the start menu and you forgot to save your work, so you reboot the system, and now you've lost all your work. That's why you always save. This is why I always save before I do anything. Oh, I haven't saved in 30 seconds, I'd better make sure it's saved. That's the kind of person I am. I'll save code while there are still errors on the screen, and half the time it causes my IDE to sit there and be like, different kind of IDE, not the IDE connection, but like integrated development environment, for anyone who gets confused by those two terms. Which sound the same and are spelled the same. Oftentimes I'll save with code that hasn't been properly formatted or even completed, and then I'll just get all the red lines. It'll be like, your code has errors, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I just want to make sure that my broken code gets saved so that I don't have to rewrite the broken code. And then I can go back and fix it. I'll save like every 30 minutes, 30 seconds or so. Every time I go off to do something else, quick Control S to save, you know. And then I play Ace Attorney, and I never save ever. And if the system crashes, I would cry. Probably. We've had similar stuff happen before, right? I think we've had other case. Yeah, Apollo Justice, case 3. You start getting close to the truth, and then suddenly, during the last investigation, Lamira... How to pronounce Lamira? See, I did Lamira, but, someone's theory is that it's Lamira, in reference to the mirror, La Mirror. I don't honestly know. Anyways, she gets attacked and silenced because she has proof about something. And that helps lead us to the culprit, because obviously, in that case, the defendant was in the detention center, so it couldn't have been him, which means that it had to be someone else. But in this case, it's a little more complicated because she's not locked up in the detention center, and she had a short period of time where, for whatever reason, no one knew where she was. Can I just say this is not the defense's problem? This court literally just let her do what she wanted while she was still a suspect. No guards or anything, she just walked off, no one bothered to watch her, make sure she didn't escape. She could have escaped, she didn't. Damn. Does that ever get explained? I mean, she literally just went to another courtroom. Went to courtroom 4. Yes, you sniffed those sunflowers. She just ran off. I don't care if she was with Apollo Justice or not. If anyone was contemplating sending, she was with Apollo Justice. Well, Apollo Justice is not a certified police officer and therefore would not be in charge or left in charge of watching over her to make sure she didn't escape. He wouldn't have the tools necessary to apprehend her in the event that she did attempt to run. Ergo, objection. Alright, I don't know, I had to do something. And I still haven't used the microphone controls, assuming they exist, because I don't honestly know. I expected this time the Ace Attorney 1 music, or maybe it was the Apollo Justice testimony music, cross-examination music, whatever. Oh, right. I kind of figured they did, I just haven't been looking for the icon, so I haven't seen the icon, because I got so used to not using microphone controls because, well, A, it's just awkward to sit here and shout into your DS, especially surrounded by other people, and B, they weren't working for the majority of the time I spent playing Trilogy, which happens to be a fairly large portion of my time spent playing these games. So I got into the habit of just using buttons. I don't like using touchscreens. Uses a DS, plays a DS for the majority of his life, hates using the touchscreen. The touchscreen is the worst thing to happen to the DS. I'm a horrible person for saying that, but the reality is the touchscreen controls suck. And the main reason why is so many games want to use all the face buttons and the touchscreen at the same time, including, but not limited to, Metroid Prime Hunters and the DS release of that terrible game where the DS release was actually worse than the game. The game that was released on console was that, Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Wherein, at least with The Force Unleashed, we're either using the touchscreen or the face controls. You'd have to switch between the two, but you didn't need to use both at the same time. Use the touchscreen to do move combos and actually do all of your attacking. I'm not sure if the other buttons did anything. But in Metroid Prime Hunters, you'd have to constantly switch between the two because, like, your look controls were set on the touchscreen, as well as some of the functionality. But then you could flip the move controls to the face buttons, and move all the functionality onto the touchscreen by flipping the controls in the settings, but that's why I never did Hunters, was because I never owned a physical copy. And I love to play the game, but it does not emulate well. And also is considered a very bad game. Mostly, well, the multiplayer was considered really good. The main issue with the game was just that the campaign felt, according to others, it felt like it was a last-minute addition. Like, they did so much for multiplayer, and I think that's what happened, is they spent so much time focusing on the multiplayer that when they decided to do the campaign, they were like, oh crap, we need to add a campaign, let's hurry up and throw it all together. And it was apparently a very repetitive campaign. Same bosses, essentially. You had the other bounty hunters for some of the bosses, and those were the best, but I think I got to the second. I don't know if I ever beat the first boss. But it was like, essentially, every single planet ended with the exact same boss fight. Or whatever, I forget the exact plotline. Something with someone found like a Stargate or something, and then the game became Stargate. I don't know. No. No. Someone... I think it was a map. I think someone... like, some super high-tech alien race sent out a message saying, we have something super powerful and super valuable. But you have to go out and, like, unlock the path. And so you'd go from planet to planet, attacking things that I forget exactly what they were. It was really bad Metroid Prime, and just from the gameplay experience that I had running it on an emulator, it was very painful to play. And the main reason why I stopped was because having to switch between keyboard to mouse, even with the controls flipped, it didn't work. But back to Apollo Justice. I said all of that, and there was a reason, and I forgot. I really want to play Metroid Prime, and I really want to play Hunters. I'm worried that it just won't play well even on console. Plus, the multiplayer died several years ago when the company that handled the servers collapsed? I don't know. I think that company went out of business. Or went bankrupt, didn't have enough money, so all their servers got shut down. And they happen to also host the Metroid Prime Hunters servers, so I think someone went and tried to like build their own server for Metroid Prime Hunters, but they need a patched ROM and everything. It would just be a pain. At least in my defense, with the whole going on a tangent about Metroid, this is technically a Metroid channel. I just don't play a lot of Metroid anymore. I don't know, not a lot of good ROM hacks that I want to play. And lack of console to play the existing games on. Plus, I've played Super Metroid, Fusion, and Zero Mission 1,000 times now. I'm sick of them. I hate the original Metroid. I've streamed Metroid 2 all the way through a couple years ago. When I was like in 11th grade, I think? 3 or 4 years ago I did Metroid 2. I don't have a GameCube, I don't have a Wii, I don't have a capture card. My computer isn't powerful enough to run a totally legitimate Wii device with a totally legitimate copy of Trilogy. I did have a copy of Trilogy. It disappeared somewhere. The disc just fell into the void of non-existence. No idea what happened to the disc. It literally just disappeared. And then I got blamed for it, and Metroid Prime Trilogy is an expensive game because it was a limited print game. I say print, but you know what I mean. There weren't a lot of copies. And even now, so many years after its release, it's still valued at like $60. Granted, you can also get it on the Wii U store, but I'd really love to see... I would really love to see a Switch release for Metroid Prime Trilogy, and depending on how they do Metroid Prime 4, they probably could. You'd have to redo the control scheme, obviously. I can only imagine that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be dual analog stick controls. I'd also love to see a port of Metroid Prime Hunters. But then there's also Erd, and I'm waiting for Erd to be released, or finished, and it's only probably 15% done at this point. I don't know how done. They started implementing Flagra, though. It was adorable because it wasn't scaled properly. So you had these giant leaves and a tiny little Flagra, and today it was like, yeah, we still have 4 more classes to implement, and I was just like, but you're doing so great, when is the demo? They said demo would be released when they finished Frigate Orpheon, which I think ended up getting tied into so many other game-based mechanics that they've just been working at what they can, and I don't blame them. It's been, 2 or 3 years since Urge started, I think? It's long and difficult because I believe that they're writing the entire engine from scratch. I don't think they really have the source code for Metroid Prime. It's literally just writing an entire game engine off of what turned out to be really poorly designed assets. Not even assets, resources. Like, they. You know it's bad when the original developers of a game follow you on Twitter and say, I'm so sorry for the way that we left everything and what you're having to deal with. Because they stored their data so poorly that they recognized it, but I think it was done out of, like, necessity. They were being pushed to get the game released, so they took some shortcuts, including really poor design choice in terms of the layout of their files. And one of the people from Retro Studios actually left a tweet saying, I'm sorry that you have to deal with this. And it impresses me that, like, Retro acknowledges the existence of ERD, and the developers have even offered help and given some advice and stuff on it. It's just amazing. But that's not what this is about. Still, this sort of thing just... It makes me so happy to see developers, large company developers, just actually taking an interest in what some of us smaller groups are working on. I don't know, honestly, I think it probably makes them feel so happy to see that even after all these years, Metroid Prime is still loved. Metroid Prime is still heavily played. It's just, I don't know, Metroid Prime is my favorite Metroid game. Honestly, the Metroid Prime series are all amazing games. Oh good, new evidence. Why is this part so loud?
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Snake. Objection! This is conjecture. Baseless conjecture. You have no evidence to support this. Conjecture. Less conjecture. Well, I'm out of ginger ale. I promise to only drink 17 cups of coffee during any trial. I'm on my last cup. Or the better... Well, 3 minutes has passed. This trial was supposed to end. Well, now that time's up, I see no reason not to continue the cross-examination. Let's just keep going at a normal pace. Objection! Apollo Justice is actually left-handed, as proven by this bananas. Ace Attorney 2, Justice for All. W-O-O-D-S. Yes, we can read, Mr. Judge. Judgy. What? I also only just realized that we get an actual typewriter sound effect for evidence being added to the court record, which I don't think we had a sound effect for that before, did we? I think it just popped all the letters up at once and didn't make a sound. What if he didn't leave the message? If only we took a picture of the crime scene. Now, why would she do something like that? Alright, if she did attack Apollo Justice, why would she scream upon seeing his body, only to call the guards in? That seems kinda dumb. Especially if we are expected to believe that this is the state of the crime scene. She would literally be drawing attention to herself. This logic doesn't make sense. It's as if someone is trying to frame her. That explains why there was no investigation. Wouldn't we have seen it though? I mean, you can clearly see in the flashback picture that it wasn't there. Suddenly some Doctor Who music started playing in my head. I can't remember which one. I think 11th Doctor's theme, though. I think that's something. Wait. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Hold it!
It lags, I know that much. It's not really worth it. Change the way that it works. That's why I didn't see it though, because it's a microphone icon in the bottom of the screen instead of because Y is now connected to a different button. They've changed the buttons around. I found something that isn't attached to a button anymore. Microphone controls suck. Hold it! Hold it. Hold it!
Hold it!
There we go. Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'll shout one objection. I'll give it one objection. But especially considering the time that it is and the fact that, well, someone here is probably trying to sleep, I'm going to try not to be too loud. Not something that's easy for me. I have a naturally loud voice. Things like a bomb. Perfect. That's interesting. Why was there no rubble in front of the witness stand? Phoenix Wright took a second to think there. Oh, Apollo was the god of something. God of archery, music, and dance, truth and prophecy, healing and disease, the sun and light, poetry, and more. From Greek and Roman religion. Mythology, specifically. I was reading straight off of thing. I don't know. Excellent, we have more information. I don't feel like there's any contradictions here.
Hold it!
Hold it! I feel like my voice acting is bad, but I miss the old voices. Plot twist, is the same voice actor, they just went with a different voice this time. I could verify this. I'm not going to. I'll leave that to someone else.
Hold it!
It's as if... Wait a minute. There we go. Why don't we call the bailiff up to testify? If the bailiff called her over, he probably would have seen that Apollo was perfectly fine. Why don't we call the bailiff? Where's the plot hole? Where's the cover for this plot hole? Took me a second to phrase it correctly, but yeah.
Hold it!
Do you have any hobbies?
Objection!
I knew we'd get an objection if I kept this up. To this case, as if there's another case. Brownie points. A reference to brownie points. I wonder what that originally said in the Japanese version.
Hold it!
Can't. Oh, good, finally. Wait. No. No, actually, the sweat drops do. I'm watching it, and yes, they do actually conform to his head's shape. Wow, game is really just giving it to me. I don't think it's that, though.
Objection!
Nope. Oh, my first failure. Wait, I can't skip this. I can't skip this text. That's weird.
Hold it!
What if I press? I can't ask for help? The only thing I can think of is it has to be this statement here. Didn't we prove that this tail is not the phony Banty tail? I don't know, I must be crazy.
Objection!
The tail is mislabeled. I also had the wrong piece of evidence. I just want to double check something. Is that rubble? I guess it's rubble. I didn't realize that was rubble. I was really confused. That's what happens when you do everything in grayscale. Not action grayscale, it's more like brown scale. Very poor brown scale. Is it just me or does this face just look wrong? Bring back my 2D sprites! See, I'm not the only one who realized that it was difficult to figure this out. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? It is! Ha, I caught that before you, Phoenix Wright. Kidding. Are we going to get animations? Oh, good. We finally have someone explaining what that thing was. Nope. It didn't get animated.
Objection!
Still can't believe that they brought this song back. 2 songs now that they have reused. Granted, I think every once in a while they'll reuse songs, but like just... No, because I think Apollo Justice was entirely a custom soundtrack. Unique soundtrack is the word I was looking for. Can't see it, I'm dancing. Because I love this.
Take that!
I do not think that word means what you think it means. I can't do the right accent. I can't even remember the accent used for that.
Objection! Objection!
Hold on, I've got to take my preparation. I am. I don't see it, but you know. I mean, I see something that I find interesting.
Take that!
There's a mark there? I can't even see it. Like... Oh my god. I see it. I see the mark. I didn't even notice the skid marks on the floor. The hell is a caster? I'm guessing one of the wheels. I love this music. They changed one of my favorite parts of the song though, and it bothers me. Remind me, which one is this? This is, Objection 2004, right? It is. Ow, that's loud. Hold on. This is 2004. I just looked it up. Here's the original. Turn this down. My end. Anyways, so that's the original. There's a slight difference. This part right here, I think they cut out like 5 notes from it. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to keep going higher. I don't know. I feel like they changed it though. Really quickly, I just want to cue something up for myself. I want to see, has someone done it? I don't see a comparison, so I can't do a complete comparison. But I found something that I thought was interesting, which is all of the objection themes. I'm assuming they're not played all at once, but that would also be great. Oh, that's loud. Nope, they're played in order. Oh, that includes Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, which I could play. We'll see how I feel at the In a Spirit of Justice. Everyone shut up, I'm listening to music. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Aji. You did. Look, you made her cough. Remember in Apollo Justice when Phoenix Wright gets called out for bluffing and the prosecution objects and says, he's not the one bluffing, you are! That was fun. Well, you may as well come back now. It's based on the portal line. Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I was like, goodbye, and you were like, no way. And then I was like, ha ha ha, we pretended we were going to murder you. That was fun. I probably screwed up the line. I'm pretty sure that she laughs there, but it could just be... Which effect is that where you misremember something, but you're absolutely certain that that is the way that it happened, even though it isn't? Is that the Mandela effect? I have so many of these things going on in my head, just all these theories and crap. And I can't remember what they are. I think that is. Let me go check. Yeah, the Mandela effect, is essentially a memory that doesn't match up with what history says, or something like that. I couldn't find a, concise explanation for it. I found documentation on showing it in action and everything else, but yeah, it's the Mandela effect. Kinda like the most popular, or the most widely used example is Star Wars Luke, I am your father, but Darth Vader never said Luke. For whatever reason, everyone, and I mean everyone, thinks that the quote is Luke, I am your father, but he didn't say Luke, he just said I am your father, and I think people just added in the Luke for context, so that you knew who he was talking to. It's the classic example of the Mandela effect, at least from what I know. That's the one that was always used for me. Not by me, obviously, because I didn't know what the Mandela effect was until, one explanation ago. I would just... Was it? Hold on. Title of this video is Luke, I am your father. And the top comment is Mandela effect. Hold on, I need to cut this down. Holy crap, this is cringy. Okay, technically it is no, I am your father, but that no was an answer to a question. I'm shocked you knew this. You don't even watch Star Wars. But yeah, you're right. It's no, I am your father, but there's enough of a break that I would separate those into two separate sentences. Even though the word no grammatically cannot be a sentence. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. Don't know what voice that was. Not the whiny voice I needed for that character. This is what happens when I stream when there are other people at home. I can't go full out because it just requires being loud. But I always got a not guilty, and we always found the culprit. Every time. You can't deny that Phoenix Wright got results. Even with his bluffing strategy. Judge. What is it, boss? Nice to see you, boss. Other Metal Gear Solid 5 references. When you head back to Mother Base and you run around and people will just talk to you. How's it going, boss? Because your nickname was Big Boss. Your title, I guess? I guess it's a title. The government behaves weirdly in Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 3, you kill the boss. So then the president awards you with the title Big Boss. Steam, stop notifying me of things. I don't care if people are changing what game they're playing. I don't understand. I think there's a bug with Steam where it says that someone keeps... Like, every time they load up a game, it says Source SDK 2007. Not 2011, 2007. And then underneath that notification says, same person is now playing a different game. And I'm just like, why are you telling me that they're playing Source SDK? Is it an issue with, like, a game relies on the Source SDK to be installed? I don't really know why, but anyways. I just realized what time it was, and it is... like 6 minutes to the end of the stream. So we're going to have to answer this. And then I think after I... Whoa! Zoom! Wait, hold on. The culprit. That seems like the right answer. Why would I put someone else? Is the culprit, like... I'm going with the culprit. You know, to me, the whole culprit and someone else kind of sound the same. Because currently, the culprit could also refer to the defendant. What if I had said someone else? You can actually see a delay in queued NTR. Okay, so now I'm even more confused.
Take that!
How am I even... Oh my god, the animations! My god, even the sound effects sound 3D. Is it possible for sound to sound 3D? Like, just the quality of the audio is so great, it's like I'm actually in the courtroom. And not just layering text on top of it. Not just layering sprites and text. Why are you saying that? I'm already aware of that.
Take that!
Oh no! Oh no! I jumped the gun. I know what I did wrong, and this is going to hurt. Well, this is going to hurt my own case. No. Do I ever?
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Snake. Sound. The music sounds 3D. This guy sounds like a snake. I mean, you know what? I have no basis for any of my comments on pretty much any audio-related crap in this game, so I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. The audio sounds 3D. I think what it is, the audio actually sounds like it's originating from somewhere within the courtroom versus just playing out through speakers. I think that's really what it comes down to. Well, at least the prosecution is helping me solve this case. Let me get through one more thing. Coming from me? What do you mean? I make these kinds of statements all the time. Yeah, I don't see that working. I got nothing.
Objection! Objection!
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, I never guessed that. You study? Well, we're up to 10. Oh my god, the animations count. Are you adding us? We're up to 10. Oh my god, the animations. There we go. And that doesn't count because I'm just commenting on the counter. Let me just do this, and then I'm done. I just want to reach a point where I feel like I can actually save.
Take that!
Nope. I saw something that wasn't real. I deserve that penalty. What are you talking about? Something here that looks like the word woods. I don't see it. Right. Alright. Oh, maybe not. Hold on.
Take that!
No? I'm confused because... Alright. I'm screwed. Wait. No, I'm seeing things. Alright,
Take that!
I... You've lost me here. Completely lost me. How the hell does this... Oh. No, that's a fucking stretch. I see it now. But that is a stretch and a half. To get me to actually recognize that woods is actually the identification number on this. I'm determined to get to somewhere. His head shaking animation sucks. Am I the only person who feels like that? Like, I feel like that head shaking animation just doesn't have the same effect as the sprite head shake. I'm okay with the desk banging animation. Oops, I hit the wrong button. So that's gonna wrap it up for already saved. That's gonna wrap it up here for the stream tonight. Went a little bit longer than I expected. I had to find somewhere to stop, and I decided this was the best place to stop, right in the middle of it all. I did the same thing in Apollo Justice, though. I remember that. I did that on a Friday, too. I don't remember exactly which case that was, but during one of the cases, I cut it off on a Friday, right at the climactic point of the case. Came back Monday, had completely forgotten what I was doing. Threw myself right back into it. It was bad. I think that was the first case. Anyways, so thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you have, I don't know, follow me on Twitter. For the rare chance that I actually post stream notifications, because I don't post to Twitter very often. Got no one to post to. I'm not going to do my standard outro, so I'm just going to say this. See you next mission.